Hi, I'm Roula. I'm a holistic therapist working with Reiki, hypnotherapy, and Neuroenergetic Kinesiology. One of the things I often hear with my clients making inquiries is, what does a kinesiologist actually do? Well, the best way I can explain it is, let's give you a behind the scenes picture to explain what happens during a kinesiology session. When I first meet my client, I take a detailed intake on the client's history. So, for example, we would talk about current health situations, we would talk about any injuries, aches and pains, any surgeries that they might have experienced in their life, any allergies, intolerances. We look at the lifestyle, nutrition, exercise. And we also ask about any emotional stress or trauma that might have happened that they want to work with during the session. So from there, we put the client on the table, and then I do a series of tests to make sure that the body's energy system is clear in order to receive clear information from muscle testing. So muscle testing is a biofeedback mechanism that we use to give us information in regards to the stress levels. So we have different stages of stress, and we ask the body. We don't ask the logical mind, we ask the body. And we look at the issue. For example, we'll set an intention and we'll say how the client would like to feel, whether it's I want to feel healthy, I want to have a good digestion, I want to be positive, I want to be confident, I want to, whatever the issue is. For example, I want to be in a better relationship. But we set the intention in a positive framework as if we are there already, because everything is about intention. If I say to you, think of a blue tree, don't think of a blue tree, you will say, oh, blue tree. But what we want to do is we want to think of the positive outcome as opposed to a negative outcome. So it's very hard, because if we say, I want to be successful in my business, that's something that's out there in the future. It's not realistic in the present moment. So we have to set an intention of letting go of all the issues that we have that don't allow us to run a successful business. Or in an unhealthy state, for example, we've got some serious illness that we're dealing with in terms of digestion or cancer or whatever, right? To be able to be in a positive framework so that we can heal from it with whatever treatments we're taking. Okay, so some of the examples then from there I continue to ask the body. We set an intention as in a positive, as if you have it already, right? And then we talk to the body and we say, okay, what is stopping us from achieving this? What is stopping us from being this person? So there might be something regarding nutrition, for example. So if I go down the nutrition pathway or the biochemical pathways, we look at the body's ability to process the food that we eat. The diet, for example, are there certain things that our body is not absorbing due to stress? We're not absorbing the minerals and the elements that are in the body. And how can we correct that stress level to allow the body to absorb nutrition, to absorb calcium, to absorb potassium for energy production, to absorb iron for energy, and so on. So nutrition and the biochemistry of the body, this is quite a popular balance that I find I'm working with clients, because so many people have not been eating well. We have too many additives, we have preservatives, we have colorants, we have toxins, and they are affecting our ability to be healthy. And so with this balance, for example, nutrition and biochemistry, we can clear some of the stress that's causing imbalances. And often there's a connection between the mind, the emotions, and an energetic point of view, a spiritual point of view. So let me just talk about the nutrition and the biochemistry at the moment. An example would be a correction, for example, would be, okay, I need to correct the large intestine is not absorbing, the small intestine is not absorbing the nutrition that it needs to absorb. And what is causing it not to do that? So the little villi that are in the small intestines, because the vagus nerve is under stress, because we're running in fight or flight mode. Therefore, the vagus nerve is not sending messages out to the small intestine for the villi to say, oh, I need to absorb this nutrition now that's coming my way. And it's therefore that stress is not allowing you to be nourished. Then we look at things like the sacral chakra, which is intimacy, joy, fun, laughter. So why is that in one's life that affects the digestive system? So you see, there are so many different aspects that we can look at in kinesiology and go to the root cause. So often we go to childhood. Often we go to issues of self-love and self-worth that we have to clear and we have to work through in the process. So that's just the one example. I'll do a couple more videos to explain some of the other pathways that we have, the protocols that we have in kinesiology to uncover different aspects of our health and well-being. The corrections that we use, for example, might be sound healing. Sound has frequency. Frequency has vibration. So if we play certain sounds, whether it's tuning forks or sound bowls, crystal bowls, Tibetan bowls, it sends off a vibration and it clears stress. Think of it as, okay, so when we're working with meridians, for example, and pressure points, think of it as energy rivers in the body, because we are energy beings. So those rivers in the body have got blocks, they have got rubbish, they have got pollution, they have got all sorts of things that are stopping the flow of life force energy. And so using frequency like sound or scent, incense oils, or essential oils, or flower essences, for example, those all have frequencies. Words have frequencies. So we might discuss a word. We would check with the body, is there a word that I need to process? So I'll suggest a word. Well, not me, the body will say, okay, this is the word that we need to talk about. Client might talk about it or might not, as I work with the different corrections, whether I'm holding a point or whether I'm creating a sound. The processing can occur, the clearing, the correction, and the client can get an aha moment regarding that word and find a sense of peace. So these are just some examples according to nutrition and the biochemistry, which is quite deep because we're going at a cellular level to release the stress that's caused in the body. If you have any questions, my name is Roula. Contact me, send me a message, DM me. We can have a chat. I do work online as well. It's very powerful online because everything is about intention. And energy is transmuted throughout place and time. So these are the kind of questions that we have and can come out in a session for understanding about your body and your mind and your energy, your spirit. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks.